Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this second BCRE webinar, and thank you for inviting me to be the speaker. Investing in a foreign country generates concern and insecurity. That comes with unknowing the economic situation, the legal framework, the taxation of investments, the stability of the country, and not having trusted legal and real estate advisors who can help you to make the selection and materialization of your investments and another series of factors that slow down or even paralyze decision-making, or if adopted, it is done with great uncertainty. Our role today is to provide you with the information we believe is necessary to have before make any real smart decision, investment decision in real estate without causing uncertainty. On the contrary, we want you to make them with the conviction that you are investing in a country with a solid situation, a great expectation for development, both economic and social, and advised by excellent professionals, which will bring you good returns and future capital gains, which with you will be satisfied. My name is Jorge Cascos. I'm from Spain. I'm a lawyer, and I have a big experience in the financial sector. I moved to this paradise 6 years ago, and believe me, it's an amazing country. I'm sure the Dominican Republic doesn't need presentation or introduction. This country is receiving more than 10 million tourists every year, but I want to highlight the beauty of the landscapes, its beaches, rivers, lakes, the kindness and hospitality of their people, its Creole cuisine, its music and dance, bachata, merengue. It's impossible to think in Dominican Republic without music. The worldwide well-known runs and Havana cigars, cacao, etc. But don't forget its enormous cultural heritage from Spanish colonization, that it reflects in having the second largest colonial city in America. Santo Domingo has the first cathedral built in America, dated from 1504, the first hospital in America, dated from 1503, and the first university, dated from 1538 in America. So this is very important, the first cathedral, the first hospital, the first university. If you come to this country, please take your time and go for a walk around La Ciudad Colonial. It's worth. In this presentation, we uncovered to cover different topics in order to fulfill our commitment to provide you with the necessary information to invest in Dominican Republic. Aspects such sociopolitical landscape, macroeconomic framework with the GDP per capita, average inflation, foreign investments, monetary policy will also cover, public debt, interest rate, exchange rate, key activity sectors, tourist industry KPIs, tax incentives for foreign investors, why to choose Dominican Republic, and why with BCRA. Sociopolitical and landscape. This is what I say, Luis Abinader, chapter 2. The Dominican Republic is a democracy, consolidated, and has one of the most stable governments in Latin America. From 2004 until 2020, the Partido de Liberación Dominicana of conservative ideology has ruled the country. In 2020 August, Luis Abinader, the current president of the country, took office. Luis Abinader, from the Partido Revolucionario Moderno, also conservatives, has a very good track record of professional from success. The last elections in May, Abinader won the elections for 57.46% of the votes, which undoubtedly represents a majority support for his successful management during the last 4 years, which has resulted in improvements in transparency, the expenditure control, the economy and infrastructure of the country, among others. During his presidential term, he has carried policy of purging responsibilities of the previous governments and fighting against the prevailing corruption. In his new term, he will continue to focus on infrastructure, education, tourist industry, free zones, and agriculture industry. If we look at most of the countries in Latin America and Caribbean region, we will find governments with populist and left-wing policies that worry and scare away investors. As a consequence of this, capital flows from America are breaking records. We are going to analyze the main economic indicators of the Dominican Republic. When doing so, it's very important to define the context and establish a benchmark against which to compare the evolution of the country indicators. That is why we will compare the evolution of the economy of the DR with the average of the countries of LAC, Latin American Caribbean countries, due to their geographical and cultural proximity and close commercial relationships. So now let's start with the gross domestic product, GDP. The Dominican economy is one of the fastest growing in the LAC area. In the period 2010-2023, the average growth of DR has been 5.15% versus 2% in LAC region. We see in this graphic how until the 2013, more or less, the growth path of the country was slow, and it starts to be fastest after that. If we see in the next graphic, the evolution of the GDP of the Dominican Republic in red, and in blue, we see the LLC average evolution in the same period. We closed the year 2023 with a growth of 3.1, and the average of the LLC was 2.6. But the evolution we see is always excluding the year 2012. In these 13 years, the Dominican Republic economy has performed much better than the average of the region. If we compare, let's see now the forecast of the Dominican Republic economy against the forecast for the economies of the LLC countries. For 2024, we expect that the Dominican Republic economy will grow by 5.10%, and the average of the LLC only 1.6. So almost, the Dominican Republic will grow almost 4 times than the average of the LLC countries. For 2025 and 26, the projection for the Dominican Republic is 5% growth, and for the LLC countries, 2.7% for 2025 and 2.6% for 2026. Again, it's almost doubling the average of the LLC countries. Dominican Ministry of Economy point to real estate growth of 5% from 2024 until 2028. So sustained growth of 5% for the next 4 years, and an average inflation rate of 4% for the same period. Now let's talk about the GDP per capita. This is a very important indicator. We see that in 2020, the GDP per capita was 7,544, and in 2023 reached 11,326. That represents a growth of 50.5% in the last 4 years. This is a very important number, 11,326, because makes the Dominican economy a middle-income economy and has been transformed into the 7th largest economy in Latin America. It's very important to remark this achievement because Dominican Republic is a small country and it's a small economy. If we compare with the biggest countries like Argentina, Venezuela, Chile, and Peru. So to be the 7th in the region is really a big achievement from this government. Let's see the average inflation rate. The evolution of inflation in the Dominican Republic has performed much better than in LLC countries. In 2023, the Dominican Republic closed with an average inflation of 4.79, with a reduction of 38.8 versus 2022, which closes with 7.83. While according with International Monetary Fund, the Latin America and Caribbean countries closes with 13.8%. So 3 times lower than the inflation rate of the Dominican Republic than the average of the region. For 2024 forecasts, point to the inflation at the end of the year of 4.18% versus LLC countries' 10.7%, less than half than the average of the region, again performing much better than the benchmark. Employment is another very important indicator for the economy. At the end of 2023, it reaches historical record of 4.95 million employees, with a growth of 3.7% compared to the previous year. Monetary policy, public debt. The measures adopted to deal with the COVID, not only Dominican Republic, over the world, and the expansive policies to boost the economy caused increase in the country's public debt. In 2023, the public debt of the Dominican Republic was 54,828 billion US, which represents 45.1% of the GDP, far below the average of 60% of the GDP in the LLC countries. We see in the graphic how has been performing the GDP, the public debt versus GDP. We saw the peak in 2020 and how has started to down. It's true that the economy is growing, so that helps also to improve the ratios. If we compare the evolution of the public debt since 2020 until 2023, from the Dominican Republic public debt versus the LLC region, we see the efforts made in all the regions to reduce the public debt. At the end of 2023 is 41.10, but we came from 56.6 in 2020. That means a reduction of 71%. If we saw the evolution of the LLC area, we saw 71% in 2020 and 70% in 2023. But it's still the main problem of the central governments everywhere to reduce the public debt. As example, in the US, the public debt in 2023 was 123% of the GDP, and the average of the European Union, 88.6%. One of the main challenges facing by the economies worldwide is to reduce excessive public debt. At the closing of 2023, the financial balance of the central administration presented a deficit of 3.3%. This is not a big number if you compare with other economies more developed. Interest rates. In a global context of resurgence of inflation, the Dominican Central Bank in December of 2021 decided to increase the interest rate by 100 basis points to 4.5. It is important as context to keep in mind that interest rates in the country has remaining about 5% until 2019. And it has been higher than 10 digits before 2006. In November of 2022, the interest rate arrives to the highest peak, 8.5%. However, the central bank began to reduce in May 2023, failing in October 2023 to 7%, 150 basis points less, remaining at the same level actually in June 2024. Exchange rate. This is something that could worry in foreign investors. Let's go through this point. We will see the average spot exchange of the Dominican peso against the dollar has established resistance. The financial turbulences derived from the pandemic, the war in Ukraine, the Arab-Israeli conflict, and the erratic commodity prices. It is important to highlight that all the real estate transactions are carried out in US dollars, which avoids currency exchange risks for buyers and sellers. We have an exchange rate of 56.46 pesos per dollar in 2020, and currently we have 58.88. So it's not a big change in 4 years with all the turbulences and all the environment of conflicts. So no concern about the exchange rate when you are investing in Dominican Republic. Now, let's see the key economic sectors of the country. Tourism is one of the main sectors. Revenues on the tourists goes up to 9,571 billion in 2023, with a year-on-year growth of 16.9%. It's a very big improvement and represents 17% of the GDP of the country. Remittances from immigrants projected to reach 10,400 billion US dollars by the end of the year. So if you add the two numbers, you are close to 20 billion US dollars. Free trade zones with exports exceeding $8 billion in 2023, equivalent to 67.5% of the total export. In the free trade zone, there is a lot of pharmaceutical industry, textiles, and other manufacturings. But I want to highlight the importance of FDI. Foreign direct investments is the best indicator of the confidence that foreign investors place in the Dominican Republic. And these foreign investors are not private ones, are corporations and professional investors. According to the central bank, the country received 4.3 billion US dollars of FDI in 2023, the highest number recorded to date. By 2024, FDI is estimated to exceed 4.5 billion US dollars. Since the turn of the decade, no Central American country except Mexico has attracted so much foreign investment as Dominican Republic. The main investors we can see in this new slide is the United States with 28% of the total, Mexico, Canada, Spain, very active in the tourist industry, and other countries after that, BVIs, Denmark, Germany, and others. Let's talk about now the tourist industry that affects directly to the real estate investment, especially for vacation homes. As mass tourists arrive to the country, more hotels will open, more apartments will be built, more people coming to rent, and more people coming to invest in second residences. The main tourist areas are Bávaro Punta Cana, that is closest to the main airport, Punta Cana Airport, that receives more than 0.5% of the tourists that arrive by plane. La Romana Valladolid Dominicus is another main tourist areas of the country. Juan Dolio, Samaná, don't forget about Samaná, is a place in which nature surrounds you. Puerto Plata is another tourist attraction. But we will go through those areas in which we will be able to offer opportunities to invest. The tourist arrivals we see in this slide achieved the number of the record of 10,300,000 at the end of 2023. If we compare this number with the number achieved in 2020 with the pandemic, was 2.7 million, to grow from 2.7 to 10.3 is a really big achievement. It's the third country in the world that has recovered the tourist industry since the pandemic. 10.3 million represents 3 more millions than the record achieved, the previous record from 2018. Sorry, the tourists arrive by plane by 78% and by boat close to 22%. This year, again, the tourist is performing much better than the previous and beating records. In the first 4 months of the year, we have received more than 4 million tourists. And in 2023, the same period, we received 3 million. So the growth this year versus the previous one is 36.8. That if we project these numbers at the end of the year, we will receive more than 12 million tourists. And this country, don't forget, has 11.5 million inhabitants. So let's go through some key performance indicators about the tourist industry, KPIs. The main one is the occupancy. The tourist industry break-even point is between 55 and 65%. So the numbers of Bávaro Punta Cana and Romana Valladolid this year are 83.8 for Romana Valladolid, the highest number, and Bávaro Punta Cana has the second highest occupancy rate with 83.6. If we see the right side of the slide, we see both month by month from November until April, and all of the occupancy rate are over 70%. In fact, in the next years, 9,135 new hotel rooms will be built. So that gives you an idea of the strength of the tourist industry in the country. let's go through another key performance indicator of the tourist industry. Let's analyze the average expenditure. First quarter 2023 was 157.59 cents. In the same period of 2023, the average expenditure went up to 167.98. That represents 6.59% of increase in the average expenditure. Average stay, we compare 2023 with 2024. In 2023, in the first quarter, the average stay was 8.47 nights, and the average stay first quarter of this year is 8.35. It's slightly low, but nothing to worry about. By country of origin, US and Canada are the top 10, and followed by Europe, 16%. In Europe, Germany, France, UK, and Spain are the most important, and in South America represent 15%. We need to highlight Colombia is attracting so many Colombians to visit the country, and Puerto Rico is also to be highlighted. So now let's talk about something very important when you decide to invest in a foreign country. How much taxes should I pay? When I decided to buy during the time of the investments and when decided to exit of the investments. There are two laws that promote the foreign investment, the law 1695 and the law 17107, the special incentive for pensioners and rentiers. How much taxes should I pay if I decide to buy a property in Dominican Republic? You need to pay first transfer tax. Transfer tax is 3% over the value of the purchase price. 3% of the purchase price. And it's the buyer who is obliged to pay. You also pay at buying 1% of expenses, approximately 1%, that includes legal expenses, notary, register, etc. It should be a 1% over the acquisition cost. During the time you maintain the investment, you should pay yearly the real estate tax. Is IEP, is called in the country. Is 1% over the property value, and you pay half in March and half in September. When you decided to sell your investment, you need to pay capital gains, and capital gains is 27%. But it's very important to highlight that the purchase price could be adjusted by inflation during the period that you have been owner of the property. Property succession rules for Dominican law allows foreigners that their national law determines inheritance rules. Let's mention some very important incentives and tax exemptions from the buyers. Comfortur projects. If you invest in a property with Comfortur advantages, that is provided these advantages by the government to projects that really helps to develop the tourist industry. If you buy one of these properties, you don't pay transfer tax, 3%, so you save 3% at buying, and you don't pay the real estate tax, that is 1%, during 15 years. So you save 3% at buying, and you save 1% during 15 years. Pensioners and rentiers has another advantages. If you are over 65, you don't pay real estate tax, and capital gains has a reduction of almost 50%. So there is something that some claim that I really love. You can be all you want in a place that has it all. This is a claim for the Ministry of Tourism of the country. Dominican Republic, in fact, is not a place, it's an experience. So let's summarize of everything we have seen up to now. 36 days of sun, average temperature 78. Lush nature, 994 miles of tropical beaches, 6,000 floral and 7,000 species of fauna. More than 30 golf courses, some designed by very important architects, Peter Dye and Jas Niklaus. All the transactions are made in US dollar and stable pesos versus dollar exchange rate. Low cost of living, low taxation, and also a very important indicator of confidence. The confidence demonstrated by the investor in FDI, in direct investments in the country, that all will arrive to an amount of 4,500 million US dollars this year. Why with BCRA? BCRA offers you more than 35 years of international experience in the real estate and financial markets. We select for you the most reputable developers in the most charming properties in the Dominican Republic, keeping in mind that location is a critical factor for real estate investments. We cover the best destination in the Dominican Republic. We only sell properties that we will buy for ourselves. Our values: transparency and integrity, transparency and security, compliance. Our goal is to establish a long-term relationship with our customer. We hope you will be the next one. What we do real estate advisor and agents. We search structuring and financing of real estate properties. And as I told you, we also we are willing to help you to find the best investment opportunities in the country. Let's show you some promotions that we pick up for you in the different tourist spots of the country. You can see more than those just visiting our website. Punta Cana Bávaro has one highest occupancy rates in the country. It's the area that receives the largest numbers of tourists in the country and therefore concentrates the largest number of hotel beds. Cap Cana has a magnificent golf course, Punta Espada, designed by Jas Niklaus, and is building two courses, new courses. It has polo fields, magnificent marina, and other interesting amenities. Projects such as exclusive luxurious and Regis by Marriott or Icon Bay, the images you are seeing right now, also managed by Marriott, has designed elegance, functionality, discreet luxury, comfort come together in this new building, Icon Bay. Cap Cana is a smart investment. Valladolid has the second highest occupancy rate. Once a small fishing village in the east coast of the Dominican Republic, Valladolid is one of the fastest growing tourist destinations in the country. It's home to stunning beaches, world-class hotels, villas, seafood, especially restaurants, and the best scuba dive spots in the Dominican Republic. And it's close to the Isla Saona. One of the best things about Valladolid is that no matter how much its growth, it is still maintaining a very relaxed ambience. You can enjoy the most diverse land and water adventures while relaxing and enjoying the beauty of tropics. This unique project, VNC da Pal Valladolid, combines architectural design with tropical landscaping and a stunning dome for events, outdoor pools, restaurant, and other amenities, and is less than 800 meters from the beach. I need to highlight the top floors. You can see now all the buildings are amazing penthouses. You will have some bars, restaurants, several pools, and some sport facilities. Vista Cana, a world of moments, a tropical paradise on the east coast of Dominican Republic with 6 million square meters, the home of pleasure seekers where Ring of Life is orchestrated by a symphony of moments. Beach, sports, 9-hole night courses, shopping center, social clubs. You have everything inside this resort. We have seen the Manantial Villas. They are very beautiful opportunity. Close to everything in the area, 10 minutes away from Punta Cana, is with an affordable prices, with very good expectation of revalorization. And now is Juan Dolio. Juan Dolio is less than an hour away from Santo Domingo and 30 minutes away from the Santo Domingo airport. Stay just a step from a fine white sand beach framed by a majestic palm trees, turquoise Guariban waters with colorful fish. The wonderful light and warmth of the Caribbean lifestyle infuse every moment at Playa Hemingway, Towers, a true paradise in the Dominican Republic. Live the perfect combination of modern luxury, natural beauty at Club Hemingway. You will enjoy access to world-class resort-style facilities, which include swimming, tennis, paddle, and horseback riding. Try the club's international cuisine, and this sure you will be very happy with the results. This is the sunset there. These towers are really amazing. You see the towers. Well, Playa Portillo in Samaná is expecting notable growth and attracts more nature-loving, boho chic surfer-loving among charms the Bay of Samaná, which is whales, the lemon jump, the natural park of Haitises. I fully recommend you to visit, and very interesting developments in the beachfront. We recommend Sol de Arena. Is an amazing new development, a complex of modern apartments, and is just across the beach. Playa, we see the whales here. You can see the whales watch the whales in February and March every year here. Playa Nueva Romana, you will find everything you can imagine to satisfy your most demanding desires. For well-being, 2 kilometers of beach, beautiful palm trees, large spaces of tropical forests, 2 magnificent first-class golf courses, a marina, and a shopping area. Those are villas that are under development in Playa Nueva Romana, this far away, less than 1 hour far from Santo Domingo Airport. Those are some examples about the properties we have selected for you, and you can have more information visiting our website, or you can contact us by WhatsApp. This is our contact details. Here they are. We have www.bcra.com.do, and also you have our mail infosales@bcra.com.do. Our WhatsApp number is 829-750-0775. So we are looking forward to you to invest in this country, and we invite you